Welcome everyone to HueFin News. Today is December the 17th, 2018. This is the home of the 2-minute price prediction, as well as giving you all the news according to the charts. Now, what we're going to talk about today is determining whether or not AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, or Nvidia, which out of those two is a better buy. Okay, it's an article that is speaking on these two microchip stocks. We're going to look at them on this article as well as on the price chart to see which one, in your opinion, in our opinion, as well as in this article, is a better buy. Okay, now first of all, definitely if this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well. Make sure that you do not forget to like and share this content, because this is relatively easy in order to proceed on what direction you expect the market to go. Here at HueFin News, we're definitely under the presumption that the truth always lies on the price charts and not necessarily in the articles or on the news media or videos that we may tend to trust. Okay, we always look at the price charts as the safe haven as to where the logistical and understanding of all market participants are listed there. And if you understand precisely what everything means on a price chart, you too can become a very profitable trader, and as well as maintain your profitability. So that's one of the things that sets us apart from everyone else who is trying to do these financial, stock, cryptocurrencies, equities, forex videos. Okay, now we're going to talk about an article that was written by John Ballard. Okay, I guess he apparently works for the Motley Fool. It was uploaded yesterday, 2 days ago, December 15, 2018, and he's going to give you some credentials of AMD as well as Nvidia as to which one, in his opinion, would be a better buy, considering many other factors that each of these companies have. Now, from us, we're just going to look at the price chart, save you all some time, show you that you can save time without necessarily doing a lot of fundamental analysis, because those things are literally pointless as to investing, day trading, swing trading, wherever the case may be, even long-term investing. That literally shows you that it's become nil, because once you boil everything down, the only thing that matters in the financial market is how much is one person willing to buy a share or a stock. It's always been about supply and demand, and it's never been about fundamentals, how much a company earnings, revenue, cash flow. All those things can dispel those things, whether or not a country is viable, whether it's stronger and weaker than another company. But once you look at it from an investing standpoint, it always comes back down to supply and demand, and how much are you willing to buy a share for. And once a particular share of stock reach a certain price level to where the demand has literally been erased, then the price will fall. So let's go ahead and see what John has to say about AMD and Nvidia. Then we're going to go ahead and go into our analysis, only the price chart, and tell you whether or not either one of these are a buy, or both of them could not be a buy at all. Okay, so let's see some of the things I highlighted that John has written on this article. And let's start off with that he starts this article stating that both of these companies have had a very hard 2018 because of the cryptocurrency collapse. A lot of the cryptocurrency miners literally have closed shop because many of these cryptocurrencies in the market has seen a 85-90% drop in the space for the whole year 2018. And what he goes on to say in this article is that the cryptocurrency miners, the graphic cards that they were using to mine the cryptocurrencies, were able to pad their revenue growth earlier in 2018. He goes on to write, but investors should look at the recent market weakness as a buying opportunity, since there are still things to like about both AMD and Nvidia for the long term. So I'm confused on this particular statement that he has written. It's a buying opportunity for both AMD and Nvidia. Then why are you trying to pose the question, which is the better buy? That does not make any sense on that particular sentence that he's written. And then as well, why would you tell someone to buy a particular security, a particular stock, when you have not found the bottom. Okay, this goes along with the notion of what many people say as buying the dip. Well, that's not very feasible and knowledgeable understanding for you to buy the dip, because you don't understand when the dip is going to stop. So this statement definitely needs to be corrected, or matter of fact taken out of this article, because it can mislead a reader into thinking that this is the perfect opportunity to come in and buy the stock. Now, looking at some of the financial fortitude in both AMD and Nvidia, John goes ahead and says that Nvidia is the winner here. They definitely have the advantage. I'm not going to negate that fact. You can tell here from the data sources that he has pulled that Nvidia definitely has more cash flow, more cash that it can dispel to pay down its debts, to give its investors dividends, rather than AMD. AMD has more debt than cash on the books. So yes, obviously Nvidia is a better component in this particular area of financial fortitude. They should be able to endure a lot more hardships if both of these chip makers are to continue its movement to the downside. Capital returns, you can see that AMD does not necessarily offer a dividend, but Nvidia does. Okay, so with no dividend from AMD, John goes ahead and says that Nvidia has the edge on capital returns on that perspective. So that's very positive for Nvidia. AMD has not won out any of these two categories yet. Let's go ahead and look at the growth expectations. Now, all of this is just hypothetical. It's all estimated and it's expected. So all of this can definitely change as we continue to play out through time. It is expected that AMD will end 2018 with a mid-single digit share of the server market, but analysts expect the company to reach a double-digit share by 2020. Okay, so that's what they're expecting. Analysts also expect AMD to report around 63 cents per share in earnings in 2019. That is a 37% growth from 2018. AMD is fighting mighty battles between two larger rivals, Intel and Nvidia. So it is prospected, or it can happen, that this 37% estimated growth can be diminished somewhat, considering that they have many formidable players in this particular market, Intel and Nvidia, that they have to contend with. So analysts currently expect AMD to grow earnings just 0.56 annually over the next 5 years. As well, you can see that analysts anticipate that the graphics card maker, talking about Nvidia, will improve earnings by 15% annually over the next 5 years. So Nvidia has 15% annually over the next 5 years, and AMD has 0.56% annually. So obviously Nvidia has the first place spot in that particular valuation, in that particular area. And just to give you all a gist of what this article is talking about, John goes ahead and states that Nvidia is the better buy. Okay, now one of the things that they always give you this type of wording or sentence in their articles: the future is always uncertain, especially within a highly competitive chip industry. He still maintains that Nvidia capital returns and consistent profitability are the key distinguishing characteristics between Nvidia and AMD. Now, with the stock down 46%, he's talking about Nvidia over the past 3 months. This looks like a particularly opportune time to consider buying shares of the leading provider of graphic cards, talking about Nvidia. Okay, so he's telling you already that Nvidia is a better buy. We're going to look at the price charts to determine whether or not it is, and if it isn't, and let's see if this is a pretty good buying opportunity for either of these two stocks. So looking at AMD first, this is the monthly chart that we're looking at for AMD. It's currently moving down 2.9%, almost 3% today in the market. The weekly chart continues to show you that the weakness is still being present in this space in AMD. Okay, so the market is not necessarily dispelling to us that this is a buying opportunity. We still have 13 more days left before this month ends, and the weakness is still present here on the weekly chart. Looking at it on the monthly chart. Looking at it on the weekly chart, we are still noticing some minor weakness in the space for AMD. The market is literally holding consolidation on a weekly basis. We came up there towards $24 during the week of the 3rd of December, and we're still showing indication that the market is weak. We're not seeing, we still got some stockpile previously last week, so it is still telling us that AMD is a weak stock, not necessarily seeing the upside movement occurring in the space. It might come back down to $18. But if we continue to see decreasing sales in the graphic cards in the chip maker business, $15 is still intact for AMD to try to hold support. Now, as we go throughout 2019, which is a very long time to see the market trade, $10 can be another support area for AMD. That is longer term, but overall, I'm not seeing this particular stock trying to move to the upside right now. So AMD is not a buy according to the price charts. Taking a look at Nvidia, we're looking at on a monthly chart. You can see that this particular stock has seen a very drastic downtrend recently over the last 2 months, and it is still ongoing today. The market is literally going to try to hold this $140 price as support. It is trying to do it again for the month of December. It did it last month in November. That is a very strong support area, so we will need to see some buyers come into the market at that $140 price. If we break below $140 in the near term, then again 120, maybe even $100 is going to be the support area in Nvidia. Okay, but the weakness is being reflected in Nvidia as well. The weekly chart continues to show us that the market is not eager to move to the upside, neither for Nvidia. So both of these stocks are indicating more weakness coming to this particular space. Now, just like with AMD, as I stated, Nvidia has to hold $140. If that can be maintained, then Nvidia will bounce from there. We should see a movement to the upside. How high it will go is still yet to be determined. Might hit that 160 or probably back up to 180 if the overall uncertainty in the stock market becomes more definitive and gives us a path forward as to a resolution to many other things that many analysts, experts do not know what to do. Okay, so looking at the video on the daily price chart, you can still see here that the market is still giving us some weakness in this space. We're holding consolidation at 140, so that is literally the only last gasp for Nvidia, is for it to hold $140. If we are able to do that, then I will be looking for Nvidia to move to the upside, but that is yet to be seen. Okay, so Nvidia is weak, AMD is weak. The market for Nvidia has to hold $18 in order for it to move to the upside, but both of these stocks are still trending to the downside. They are still giving us indication that it is weak. So according to the price charts, neither one of these stocks are a buy. John thinks that Nvidia is a better buy. In our perspective from these two price charts, neither one of them is a buy at all right now, because we are still in a downtrend for these two stocks. Until we're able to find the bottom is when the better buy scenario should come into fruition, but right now it is not here. So still expect these two stocks to show us weakness, to continue to move lower, and at best hold consolidation if we're able to stay above $18 for AMD and $140 for Nvidia. So that is what you need to be on the lookout for these two stocks. So that is real easy once you understand what you're looking at on the price charts, rather than looking at fundamentals as John is trying to do in this article. It takes too much time in order to dispel which is a better buy, when in fact the price chart literally has everyone's perceptions of what they expect the stock to do already here. So all this information that John has done, or anyone else, any of the other analysts and experts, they have already placed their bets here on the price chart. And if you're able to see what the overall bet is, then you also can profit from the same thing. That is what we're here to show you all in the market for cryptocurrency, stocks, forex, commodities, whatever the case may be. As long as we got a price chart with bars and volume, we can determine whether or not it is a good stock or instrument, whatever the case may be. So that is our analysis. We have given you our perspective as to what the price chart is reading. We definitely like to hear your opinions and your thoughts as to which of these two graphic chip maker stocks is a better buy. Do you think AMD or do you think Nvidia? Or do you think neither one of them is a better buy? Give us your opinions. Make sure you all maintain your profitability, and I will see you all later.